Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
Come on.
Yes!
Holy shit.
Man.
Finally dead.
Thanks for the carry, guys.
Alright, welcome everybody to MogTalk 149. It is Saturday, September 22nd, and today we have a pretty cool show for you guys. We're doing the World Race discussion with Team Entropy here. If you guys haven't seen MogTalk before, it's a show based around the Final Fantasy XIV community discussing everything from Savage raiding to Chocobo racing. But before we get into it, let's go ahead and introduce our guest on the show today. We have first... Aya. Aya, say hi to everybody. Tell everyone kind of who you are in the team.
Hello, I'm Aya. I play melee DPS for Entropy. Ninja is this tier. I've played Monk before, and probably am more well known for my Monk.
Okay. All right, Ayesa.
Hello, I'm Ayesa. I play Scholar.
All right, Leaf.
I'm Leaf. I play Summoner.
And Rafter.
Hi, I'm Raptor. I play Warrior.
Warrior? What?
Yeah, Violent Destruction is just too good for me now, so...
Zep.
Hello, I'm Zep. I'm the range DPS, physical DPS for Entropy.
All right.
Okay, Bart.
Okay. Oh, welcome, guys. By the way, a lot of my sighs are from a lot of pre-show conversation. I'm trying to get it out of my system. And hopefully, you know, whatever. You guys say what you want to say. But we might see some random salt here throughout the show. Before we even
It wouldn't
start...
be a MogTalk without PvP salt.
God, we're not talking about PvP. This is not a PvP show. We're doing World Race. Come on, man. Come on, let's not do that. And, oh, well, I got to talk about Paladin, too. By the way, how do you guys think Paladin did this tier?
Pretty depleted on the damage.
Okay.
Unfortunate. Maybe next year.
Okay, fair enough. We're back to DPS checks, but we'll get into that. So, guys, I want to go ahead and congratulate you all for doing such a great job. I mean, you guys won the race with like a 16-hour lead, which is pretty insane versus what the other teams were doing. How do you guys feel right now after winning again world first?
Pretty good.
What was that?
Well, you asked me how I felt. Pretty good.
I mean, well, there's a difference. Yeah, but hey, I feel pretty good. And pretty good.
Pretty good.
No, we don't have to play this game for like a year.
It's true, sadly. I mean, go ahead.
The sooner prog's over, the sooner you log out and log into WoW, so...
Exactly.
Oh, God, man.
Gotta do my world quest that I missed out on. So far behind.
I mean, isn't WoW just kind of like, it's a buggy beta version of an expansion?
Yeah, but it has content.
Content, yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. I mean, can you do the content?
Yeah.
Okay.
Somewhat.
We try.
We're like NA in this game. So.
Jesus
You can do it
Christ.
just about, but like, yeah, probably someone better.
What? Okay, before we even start, man, what's with your hatred to NA?
It's like a thin border, isn't it, like between hatred and love. I don't know.
Okay. It's like you love them, but you hate them. You would take them for a date or something, but you'd be angry the entire time. Is that kind of the sentiment? Yeah,
I mean, we can go with that if you want.
Okay.
Isn't it more like you have to have someone around to ridicule? Otherwise life is boring?
Jesus, man.
True.
Like, you guys are just nailing me right now. I'm NA, dude. Every time you say something bad, you're like saying something bad about me. Right?
Yeah.
Fuck
I mean,
you.
I think the like region-wide thing, or like trying to represent your region, is also kind of an NA thing. Like when we win a tier and you go on Twitter afterwards, It's like you almost feel bad about winning. It's like 5 people are tweeting, we let down all of North America. Like if we lost, nobody would go tweeting like we disappointed Europe. We don't care.
That's true. I don't give a fuck.
So you
Yeah, but
guys
that's
are
because
like,
no one likes us in Europe.
does no one like you guys in Europe?
I don't
Not
think
really.
so.
I don't think so.
Maybe in the world. I don't know.
Maybe? I don't
Maybe.
know.
I mean, it's been a while since the last fan fest, but when we were there, all we got was dirty looks.
Really?
Yeah, some cold stares and some like people whispering when we walked past.
Yeah, I think some people called angered people cunts back then. At a fan fest, it was pretty good.
To be fair, if I saw Rafter out and about, I'd probably think of it like a cunt as well.
Does he kind of look like that, you guys think?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Feels bad.
Down syndrome.
What?
What kind of show are we doing today? Alright. So, you guys won, but also, have you guys been spending a lot of time in Final Fantasy before you
Oh
won?
no.
No?
Our prep was
Wake up.
two months of WoW. Our prep was one raid before the tier, and then, yeah.
I don't remember how many times we waited between Ultimate Proc and this proc. It was like we did an Ultimate weekly. We waited last weekend. Did we wait between?
Nope.
I think I have 4 ultimate weapons, and then we never went back into Sigma. So like 4 raids since fucking you died.
Okay.
That sounds about right.
So you guys have been spending your time over in WoW.
Pretty much.
All of you?
Well, most of us.
I played
Not all
Monster
of us.
Hunter.
Okay, fair
Yeah,
enough.
I've been on Monster Hunter as well.
Monster Hunter's good training for any game, I would think, right?
I think I logged
Especially
in.
riding a bike.
I logged in when Eureka Pagot, like Pagos, was released and just like completely lost all hope and just fucking logged back out.
Yeah, I think I'm level 20.5.
Well, I mean, for you guys, there's not really a lot of content coming your way that you enjoy doing, right?
Not really.
You guys care about ultimate, savage, difficult, challenging content, but when we get into things like Pagos, it's not really what you guys are looking for, I'm assuming. And that's all we got left. Is that
I don't mind a grind, like a relic grind, but that was I don't know what that was. Bad.
Oh, and also the content for 4.4 isn't like announced yet.
You
I
mean
could imagine this
4.5?
coming. Yeah. Probably not an ultimate, but I can imagine something else coming. Considering also like the leak, if that turns out true.
Oh, Blue
Would be
Mage?
pretty good. Yeah, if it turns out to be released in 4.5, it would be pretty nice.
I mean, I would switch. I would try it out. I mean, we don't know. Man, I don't want to give anyone too much credit ever with leaks and everything else, just because leaks, to me, are kind of annoying, because they kill. Like, you sit on that for, like, months and months with having this information, and then you're like, oh, it's here. I kind of knew it was here. It's not like, oh, my God, this is cool. It's like, all right, they finally did it, and now I don't like it or something. That's how it usually turns out. So I'd rather not know what was coming up, but I mean, how am I going to avoid this guy leaking all this stuff?
I think the leak for 4.4 and 4.5 actually did a better job at hyping this up than the actual trailer itself.
You think so?
Yeah.
Because it created a lot of discussions about, for example, for the bosses of Alphascape, as in like, is like that everyone thought that sounded so wrong that it cannot be true, and that heated up the discussions a lot.
Well, I guess
And
so.
I think a lot of more people were like interested in seeing like, is that actually going to turn out true?
Well, technically, it
And
wasn't
as for-
Adam and Eve at the very end. It's Omega F and Omega M, right?
Yeah,
Same
that's
thing,
true.
right?
What is Adam and Eve from? It's Nier, right? Is that the only... I can't remember what else it's actually from.
Bible, mate.
What? Oh, the
Bible.
Bible.
Yeah, Zeppe was reading the Bible to prepare for work. Not kidding.
I think Adam and Eve are actually characters in some kind of Final Fantasy, though. Like, not a
I thought so
mainstream
too,
one.
but then I tried to look it up and I couldn't find anything on it except for Nier.
Maybe someone in the chat knows. I'm pretty sure there's an Adam and Eve like character in one of the Final Fantasies.
I hope so. Yeah, somebody in chat tell us because I feel ignorant about the subject. All right, so you guys won again. You know, you got into the fight. You started doing this tier. You've played really hard in Deltascape and in Sigmascape. Do you feel like this tier is better than those two tiers?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
By far.
Okay.
I mean, at the same time, you have to know it's not that hard to be better than Delta and Sigma.
Yeah. This tier is like like maybe you could have like Delta as the first, but like Sigma maybe should have been this, and then maybe they should have worked something towards like Mutus level for the last one. But this tier was definitely like an improvement.
Yeah, I think we got towards Creator. This is kind of near Creator, possibly level. Do you think?
It's like in a weird in between place. I think it's better than Creator. I don't know.
You think it's better than Creator?
And yeah, I would say it's better than Creator.
I think it's about the same. I think 012 might have been fun to proc for us, but I don't think 012 will be as interesting with like a guide. Like when you break everything down, like second Hello World is like the only mechanic.
I guess it's the repeat factor, isn't it? Like kind of ruins it, I suppose.
Yeah,
that's true.
I mean, these fights, we'll go into each one into more detail, but I mean, overall, I saw a lot of positive responses about each fight, even getting into like the early fights. People were like, yeah, this is good. This is kind of what we wanted, at least close to it. When you guys got into it, is this something that, I mean, having Ultimate as well, is this a good trade-off, having this kind of difficulty for Savage?
I don't really mind.
Do you still want it harder, or?
I don't mind
if we
just
had-
having ultimate. Like 3 of them is fine by me. Like they can do whatever the fuck they want for the editors.
If they could do 3 ultimates.
Yeah, like if 4.5 would add an ultimate, like I honestly wouldn't care like what difficulty this tier was. Like it's meaningless.
I mean, I'm interested to see what they do bring in 4.5 because they have to do it on a FanFest stage. Because that's when they're going to do the live letter, I'm assuming, for 4.5, right?
So they're going to introduce it at the NA FanFest in November.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, that's 2 months from now, and that lines up with about the right amount of time between patches because then 3 months is a patch, right?
The
I hope it's not
thing
like
is,
Odin fight or something.
the thing is why I consider 4.5 relatively interesting is because we're not getting an ultimate. So since they've been saying that ultimate takes a lot of resources, I kind of want to see where those resources went. I hope it's not going to have a second dungeon and that's all they're gonna bring. Like, I could see a second primal, as was said in chat. Like, in the Extreme Primal side quest, we have like one other primal left, and then like, obviously we're gonna get the last one as well, like the one that we are trying to, like, released.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's going to be Eureka.
So here's the thing. Like, I'm hoping that if they don't release a new fight, they release a new system. For example, they go to certain fights and add a new difficulty level, and they just up the HP, or they try to just mess around with each of the fights. Just a quick system where you say, hey, I press this, even though the fight or the dungeon or whatever they apply it to is going to be broken, you have this ability to make this fight extremely difficult and maybe not even passable. I'd be okay with that if they introduced a broken difficulty level system. But I don't know if...
You mean just Mythic Plus but applied to raids? So what you're saying? Like it's just a modifier.
Or just do it to dungeons too. I mean, you don't have to do it just to raids. You can go back and we have thousands of dungeons to do, and it's 4-man content, which people want as well.
Final Fantasy dungeons are too linear, and the mobs don't do enough to make it like good 4-man content, in my opinion.
I mean, it is if you make them do more damage and give them more health, right?
Dude, it's not. You just take 2 summoners. Like
you just take
the mobs still don't do
they
anything.
don't do anything.
You're just fighting things that do damage and stand there.
And they do some AoE, right? There's some stuff to dodge. I guess it depends on which ones. Not Eureka. No. I'm talking about dungeons.
Oh.
Eureka, no. I'm hoping that we flush that out and we're like, hey, let's put something else on afterwards. We were committed. We made the system. We went through all the links for it. We have this overwhelming response that it's not that, and only some people like it. That probably the same people complaining about PvP haircuts, but we should put those resources towards something else, right?
Actually, having done the 2 new dungeons, I think the dungeon bosses this time are kind of cool. I like
okay.
in the burn, like the second boss. That one is actually pretty interesting.
I'm trying to remember. I only did it once.
It's the one that does like the race thing, and it counts down, and then you need to find like the broken car, go into that zone.
Oh yeah, the broken bug or defective bug.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just it's one little mechanic. I'm glad they're doing little things and they're experimenting. Like, people might complain about what they did with Bayuku, sorry, where the orbs coming up. They might complain about having to do DDR in the new Primal. But I'm glad they're doing this stuff. It's something different, right? And this is content that's not challenging, so why don't we just throw something in there that makes it slightly more interesting? I mean, I think the way they did Suzuka, which, again, you guys might not be as familiar with, because you guys stopped completely, right? You're like, hey, I'm done. Now I'm going to relax after I cleared Savage.
Why would we have to do Suzuka, whatever it's called?
To do it. To get a bird or get a wolf or get whatever, right? Just to do it. Do you not do content to do it?
Yeah, like if it has meaning behind doing it, yeah. Like I probably will do Suzuka at some point, but
yeah, it's. I mean, having these kind of little interesting things in there, it makes it. These are fun factors, and also being able to talk crap to people who don't get 10 stacks at the end of the mechanic is good. It's fun, right? It's like a challenge between all the different players in there to say, hey, can I hold something over your head that's completely simple? Why not? And you guys like doing that. You guys like shit talking each other, right?
You know, if doing that mechanic didn't give you damage up, people just wouldn't do it. They just AFK and die and expect to be rezzed.
Yeah, and I mean, that was kind of what I was
not gonna lie, that shit happened in Byakko, so... It's like, okay, AFK, make it a coffee.
Yeah, if they made those orbs coming up, they like dodging them every time you dodged like a certain point, it gave you a damage boost, then people would do it. And I think they should do that to all content right now, because that's how the raid scene's turning out. So they want to do extra damage. Well, if they want to do extra damage, here you go. Do mechanics properly, you do extra damage, and that's just how it works. So, but yeah, anyways, we're going completely off topic here in like the general world of Final Fantasy XIV and what they could be doing. You know, we can hope if they were going to do an ultimate in, I guess, 4.5, do you guys have a fight that you're looking for?
I think Thornton was banded about, which I kind of like the idea of Thornton, but I'm not sure like how much they could get out of him and his knights. But
they could probably do a lot with it. I mean, I felt like they did that fight really well, but again, for Knights That Are Around, it felt condensed to me. I feel like there should have been more to it. And so I think they can juice it. I mean, there's also Alexander, but I guess they probably want to wait till the next expansion for that.
It's too soon for Alexander.
Nah. Need to be like 4 years away, right?
Just like, I think Manipulator's still in people's minds. Like, people still have nightmares about him, so I don't know if they want to see him come back.
Okay. Maybe not him coming back, but just Nissi. We need Nissi, but we need to make it to where you can't cheat it.
Okay.
I think that is the nightmare.
That's the nightmare?
Maybe.
Okay.
Simon, just get Muni to join our group and we're fine.
What is
he
this?
healed Nissi, by the way. Did you know that?
He did heal Nissi.
He did.
And he did. They did it the right way.
Yeah, he healed her.
No, they sacked the third one. Watch the video.
They sacked the last one? No, on the clear?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I thought they did it legitimately. Layla can tell us because he was there. But I don't know. Let's go into this tier. Let's get out of the what ifs and everything else. I do want to talk about this tier because there was, again, a lot of positivity towards it. People were like, yeah, this was exactly what we wanted. Yada, yada, yada. You guys get into Chaos. How'd you feel about Chaos when you first went into that fight?
I don't think it was a pushover like the other entry bosses they did.
Not like AS9, right?
What fight was that again?
Phantom Train.
Oh.
No, AS9 was the guy in the middle.
Refurbisher.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy.
That one was awful. That's probably the worst one they've ever done, right?
Didn't one group one-shot the... What was Altero? Was that one?
Yeah,
Alt-right,
right, yeah.
Someone one-shot that, so I don't know. I think
that's
that
true.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that is the worst one then. Refurbisher's second worst.
I think Chaos is pretty good for what it is. I quite enjoyed it.
I like Chaos because it's basically Sephiroth, just like the non-big version. So it's kind of like, I felt like this is the Sephiroth that we wanted. It's a good amount of debuff play and coordination positioning. It's usually like how the first boss turns out, right? Like Ultra Water was a lot about positions, Phantom Train as well.
Yeah.
And I think this fight was basically the same again. Except that you have quite a lot of like debuffs as well.
I mean,
did you know there was a damage down debuff in there? Pretty good.
Is there? I'd say I haven't actually entered this raid because I've been so focused on doing all the simple stuff in PvE and focusing on people sending me their OS 9 clears 4 days after the content's released.
Wait, was there damage down in 12 as well?
I think so, right?
Was there?
Oh no, I didn't read the tooltip properly, but maybe. Maybe
just damage down in German.
Hey, we're not on 12 yet. We're not on 12 yet, guys. Let's talk about 9. The other part about 9, all right, is it took you guys. Well, I mean, for you guys, you didn't actually clear in the top 3 for that, right? Let's.
Oh, dude, it was slow as fuck to warm up, friend. Every time.
Mate, we couldn't even do the fucking mechanics when we did kill. Like, holy shit. We got all the debuffs, we fucking stacked them, pressed our knockback immunities, got the damage down debuff, and then just healed through it and killed it. That was us.
The thing is also when we started, Rafter couldn't log into the game, and then when we were all together, we tried queuing in, and Leith was missing.
Like every tier, whenever I try and queue in, I can never like zone in for some reason. Every fucking tier.
We zoned in 7 of 8. Like we queued 8 of 8. Leith was the fucking party leader. He queues us up, and he's gone.
Okay. Is
and
that
then
just
he
like
had to relog?
Is that just a connection issue that you have, or?
I have no idea, but it's
I
happened.
think it was.
And Delta.
I actually think it was tight because you left the crossword link shell right before. I think that was the reason.
Possible.
Okay.
This happened in Alphascape though as well.
Yeah.
Same issue on the first turn. So who knows what it is.
Mate.
You guys are getting early DDoS. Well, I mean, that's also when the servers are coming up, and the EU servers did have a lot of issues, didn't it?
I think they should stop with this. You know, funneling everyone to one play. Everyone logs in and they're all funneled to like one fucking zone. Like, they need to stop with that shit. Like,
I mean, how would they solve that?
Just have like, how would they solve that? They either need to instance it right on raid day, like on when the raid opens, or they need to make it so like you can just fucking queue into it and do the. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like, they need to instance it right. Like they just need like.
At least they got rid of the solo instance this time around.
No, I mean like they need to instance the zone like how Stormblood was.
Okay. For like at least the first couple of hours or so.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, it was crazy. When did the servers go down for EU? That was after you guys cleared the first fight?
I think we were just in an instance, so we actually didn't go down for us.
Oh, it only went down for the people who weren't in instances? Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so you guys didn't really have that much messing you up with servers at least.
Wait, I mean, yeah, we would have been 5 minutes faster.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Fair enough, there we go.
The crafters went down at least, so that's the thing.
Oh yeah, our gear was maybe a bit slow, I'm not sure.
I mean, when did you guys get your gear?
Oh, fast. Crafters did a good job this turn.
Turn 2, I think.
Before turn 2?
Yeah, before we'd killed Midgard Summer, where you had all our gear.
I think they'd made it really fast, and then it was just like the melding, which really takes. I think the melding takes longer than actually crafting the pieces. Though.
Yeah.
I had my own personal crafters on Cerberus this time around, because well, this is basically for 12S. I didn't level my crafters on Ragnarok, and I was scared that, well, we basically knew that O12 is going to have like the checkpoint, right? So I wanted to have my crafters up to repair. And my crafters actually did quite a good job. I was halfway geared for the first O10 lockout, so after we killed O9S. And I was fully geared when we re-entered O10S.
Okay. So you guys pretty much had all the crafting, all the materia, and everything else ready to go when you guys were going into, I guess, 12S. Sorry, I'm losing track. I'm seeing so many different ways of saying it. I'm glad that O did pick up, though. Huh?
Did we have it by 11? It was 11, no?
We had it before when we killed 10 for all the 11, all the 12, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like we were almost killing 10, we got the gear and then he just died.
Cool. So, you guys lost that first fight, and it was just because of, like, well, I mean, lost first place. I'm sorry, lost first place on that first fight. But afterwards, you guys kind of springboarded it back in, got third, and then after you got third, you got first, and then first again, obviously. So, do you feel like the second fight, the biggest gripe that people had was that it was kind of like a copy of Nidhogg? Do you guys, I'm assuming you agree?
All of the dragon fights kind of take from each other, right? I thought it was quite interesting fight. I know it was like copy and paste kind of, but
the thing is in Nidhogg Extreme back then, what you normally had people do is tank LB3 or healer LB3 the fuck out of the final bomb set and basically cheese or sack it, right? So people barely did that correctly. And what Square Enix likes to do, like they always do this, right? In every type of content, like in Alphascape Savage, they started with that. They always want us to do the mechanics right, like the way they intended it to do. And if we don't do it their way, then they will do it another time and try us to do it correctly. And this is basically what they did again in O10.
Okay, so you think they were just trying to give it another go?
Yeah. Speaking of which, I also liked the way how they did Extra Flare this time. I felt like this is what they should have done in UCOP as well. Have a stack at the same time, have like Shiva Isis and whatnot. So
yeah. It's like it was missing
like watch out. Right? Yeah.
So you guys are glad they stepped it up and made it a little bit more difficult to dodge Extra Flares.
Well,
it was slower, I think, right?
The difficulty of Extra Flare in UCOP was just like the pressure, wasn't it? Whereas this was one shots and the pressure, and like if you lose your debuff, you don't make the damage check right. But this time it was like they were slower, yeah, but there was more going on at the same time. I don't know, it's good.
I think that's
to give you an idea of how copy paste the fight was. One of the diagrams we looked at was from the Death in Texas Nidhogg guide.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I'm not too upset about it, to be honest with you, either with that, because it just felt like the fight was still good. It was still fun. I mean, in normal mode, it was still fun. You guys said that you also felt like it was a pretty good fight.
Yeah, I think visually and the mechanics were fine. Like, I mean, it's the second boss of it, like, I don't know, people are expecting.
I don't know.
I think the only weird thing about that fight was the tank swap mechanic being, you know, when the ad spawns, you got one tank just running for his life because he doesn't want to get one shot.
Yeah, I guess
that seemed like a bit of an oversight. I don't know if there's a way to avoid that and we're just stupid, but it seemed a bit messy.
Well, I mean, you still cleared the fight, so it's all right. I mean, the first two don't really have hard DPS checks on them either, right?
No.
First 2 or 3 are like how fast you can figure out and execute the mechanics, right? Or if you can like just power through, even if you fail the mechanics. So.
Yeah. All right. Anything else interesting about 10 that you would want to talk about?
I like the fact what they did with the animation play.
Or the spin flip.
Yeah. The spin flip. It's pretty cool. I like stuff like that.
I like visual indicators on models, but they might have to make it so we can actually like fucking zoom out more if they want to continue with that on big boss models. Cause...
I mean,
get fucking irritating.
I don't know. I felt like when I saw him spin or flip, it was pretty easy to see, right?
Not on him. I'm talking like on Omega as well.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
Or when they do it like A10S, when the boss is relatively small.
Yeah.
Then it's fine.
Okay, so with Omega going into 11, I heard a lot about... So I'm also like behind. I'm watching streams and I'm doing all this other stuff, but tell me about 11. Why do people love 11 so much? They felt like it. They said it was a really good fight, solid. There's something about a jump rope. Why do people love that fight?
I think the mechanics are just very fun to execute and visually. Like, specifically this tier. I think, are they talking about the like level checker phase in 11 when they mean
I'm
the
assuming.
jump rope?
Yeah.
Like that was the first phase this tier where Woody felt they had done something really creative mechanically. Like the entire execution of that phase feels pretty nice.
I also like the larboard starboard and then the Savage larboard starboard. That movement is pretty cool.
Where he like set left or right and he flips around and it's left or right again and you just have to mentally make sense of it, right?
Yeah, and then later on in the fight he updates it and then it changes into, if he says like Savage starboard left, Savage starboard wave cannon, you start left and then you have to go through immediately because he's gonna do the other one afterwards.
A lot of people complained about that.
Well, it depends on your call-outs, right? Like our Italian friend who's not here would say left, and then when he means like the second half, instead of saying stay, he'd say left again. What the fuck does that mean, right? Like it's either left, go through, left, stay. Like, right? Do you know what I mean? Oh. Fucking depleted.
Okay.
Poor guy.
It's this thread where I turned my camera around for the second part and then I just made sense again.
Same.
Yeah. I mean, I guess like I did it like a whole bunch of times in normal, and like I felt like it really wasn't that difficult. I mean, if he says it, then he says it again, then you move again. But if he says it, then he says something else, then you stay. It's pretty straightforward, at least in that part. But I guess in Savage, with the extra phases they put in there, it just gets more complicated.
You just need You just need one's a direction and the other one is stay or move through, right? You don't need like left, left, or left, right, because that's like if he's got his camera turned around the other way and is saying left and I'm looking like another way, then it doesn't work, does it? Or if you just say move through, stay, it's fine.
I'm actually wondering what they meant with. Like, you remember that interview from Yoshida where he said they changed over 11S because it didn't feel like we were fighting that thing? What did they actually mean by that? Did they mean the rocket punches, or?
I don't know. I felt like
they said it was fine in normal, but it was not fine in Savage, so they like redesigned the entire fight.
Do you think they removed the duty action from Savage?
Oh yeah, they did.
If that was the change.
Oh,
Because, like,
yeah.
I mean, it doesn't appear in the Savage version. So do you think they changed that? It used to be in the fight at some point.
Maybe it is that. Because I was kept expecting like the duty action to pop up at some point, but it never
The thing is, if you did need that duty action and you could just LB that fucking level checker, you could. I don't know. That'd have been so easy. So,
well, the duty action interacted with the hands, so not the level check.
Yeah, but like it made him
Oh, you
stop
just blow
like,
it?
killing.
Blow it?
No, like the what do you call it? When he like LBs us, you have to like level check that thing in the middle, right? After the.
Yeah.
But if you didn't have that, then you could just melee LB the thing and not tank LB.
Let's see. They mean the hands because the duty action count as DPS and ACT, and my DPS healer was the DPS my healer was 100. Oh, okay, because you're doing extra damage because of the action itself. I mean, it is kind of interesting. They took out this action, right? And they didn't have an action in turn 10, which is kind of unusual. Or you think they're starting to move away from that? Like they just don't want to have these little gimmicks where you click on something during the fight?
I think 6 was good though. The only issue with 6 is that they needed to like vary, right, instead of just being a static rotation. I don't mind the duty action. I think it's quite interesting.
A lot of people complained that it was just something that they had to do and it felt forced because they couldn't do more DPS because they had to hit the button instead of hitting a OGCD or something. And I felt like that was kind of a dull response to it. I mean, it's just part of the fight. It's like doing a mechanic.
Do you think
I
that's
think I think the duty actions are fine. It's the active time maneuvers that just seem like a waste of space.
Yeah, they're a waste of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do feel that just clicking on something a whole bunch of times kind of is boring and dull. And I do like the way that they're kind of changing it up a little bit by making you actually kind of move and just do things instead of pressing a button over and over again. I'm trying to think, did they... Because I felt like what fight recently, I don't know if it was in a dungeon, but it was in this patch where you actually had to do active time maneuver, and I don't know what it was. Because they did bring that back. I don't know if it was for one of the
I
dungeons.
mean, it's been in the main story, but other than that, it was like Shinryu, but I can't remember if anything more recent than that.
Yeah, I think you think of the main story when you get tethered and you have to roll your face on your keyboard.
Maybe, yeah, main story quest. I guess it was the main story quest. Which, did you guys do, by the way? Did you have any time to do any of the main story quests?
I've done
Yeah.
the main story. Yeah.
No.
I
Skip
haven't really
cutscenes.
logged into the game.
Yeah. Do you guys all skip cutscenes?
Yeah.
Nope. Who said nope?
I don't skip them when I don't need to. Like on a patch like this where the raid is completely separate, I don't have to do the main story or anything.
Mhm.
Like I just do it afterwards and watch the cutscenes.
Yeah.
So
Why not?
I'm up to date with the story. Yeah, like
I
why
just
not?
watched
Like
the-
we're not doing anything else. Like, I don't know. I'm not playing WoW, so I've got to find something else to do.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. What were you saying, Leaf?
I just watched like a Mr. Happy or someone compilation. They can just tell me what happened in the story.
That doesn't feel as good, man. It feels
Does,
good to
does
be
that
there.
save you any time versus just watching the cutscenes by themselves?
Yeah. Because I can watch that while playing WoW.
I'm disappointed. Disappointed by that. I mean, I guess like right now, going through the main story quest, I felt like it was overall kind of interesting because they're trying to put you in other people's shoes. Do you guys like being Ishtola, or do you like?
being a stone.
Yeah, is
Felt good.
that your thing, Leaf?
Maybe.
Okay. It's kind of interesting to see that they're experimenting not just in raids, but they're going out in main story quests and everything. But doesn't matter. It's not part of raids. Who cares? Let's talk about raids some more.
I think they do need to. They need to experiment with some stuff coming for like the next expansion. Like
Oh yeah.
if they apply copy paste to whatever 5.0 like insert name, then yeah, I'm not sure. Friend.
I mean, they have been experimenting. It's not like they haven't. Just some of the experiments they keep going on, and we didn't like it. For example, with how Pagos worked. I mean, it's interesting. It's a whole new world of development and everything else they're doing. But it feels like that's a lot of other stuff that we'd rather have challenging content associated with. It's like it's too much casual content.
I feel like they need to take the training wheels off and
Just make it a difficult MMO. That's every fight is hard.
well, not every fight has to be hard, but if that involves like having to produce more levels of the content, like I'm not talking like LFR normal, heroic, mythic, but
Mm-hmm.
they need to do more. I think
This needs to be something like Eureka Diadem. Like, what is that stuff? Like,
if it is dungeon content like a la WoW, then I mean that's fine also. But
Mhm.
it needs to be more than what is currently, or like not
Well-
sure how to.
So if we go back into kind of experiments that they've done, we can have Palace of the Dead as an experiment. Do you guys like Palace of the Dead?
That's fucking
No.
trash content, man.
the
It's
hospital
fucking garbage.
is so mind-numbing.
Okay, you guys hate it. A lot of people liked it. I guess you guys definitely didn't like it. Then you have Pagos, which you guys obviously didn't like. So
Garbage.
you got, and I mean, this is kind of a biased opinion because I'm asking people who go for world first rating. But I mean, these are little experiments that it's not taking all the development away from the content that you would want to play. No one likes I don't know. I guess chat's telling me here. Layla's saying that no one likes Palace of the Dead as well. I thought people
The
liked
problem
it.
is, like, Palace of the Dead, like, you do it once, right? If you want to do it, like, the content they bring that they put a lot of resource into it has like zero replayability. Like, why would I want to do Heaven and Height twice when it was like painful the first time, or Palace of the Dead?
Because there's a
I think
leaderboard.
Heaven on High is alright. Palace of the Dead was just way too bloated when they, like, having 200 floors.
It's like same with Eureka, like get max level in a day, farm your weapon, day 2, then done. Never go back in there ever again. Like
The issue also is like it was kind of interesting when they were toying with the idea of the material on the left side gear, but then they took that away, and like the incentive to go in there, I don't really see it until the end of the expansion when it maybe becomes the same eye level as a raid 2 weapon. Like,
Well, yeah.
I'm not sure.
they just need to put gear in like things to force people to do stuff. Like in WoW, like you can farm Mythic Plus, get better gear than the raid. Like people will farm that stuff all day long. And like in FF, you have like one gear choice. It's either Tome or Raid, and then you're done. And once you have that, there's like no even point playing anymore.
Well, I mean, like, here's the thing. Like, if you do Mythic Plus, and your group is not up to snuff for it, do they disband immediately?
For Mythic Plus?
Yeah.
Well, no, you have tools to check, like, if people have done keys in time, or if they're, like, not an absolute dribbler, like... Even if your key... Even if you did your key and you depleted it, like, I mean, you just, like, kick them, get someone else, and start again. One level down.
Okay. So it's more like you just go in there real fast paced. You already know who you're with no matter what because they're judged immediately. You get rewarded for failing? Okay. I don't understand anything about WoW because I don't care about it. You know,
I mean, the main thing WoW has, it has dungeons, it has raids. Like
yeah.
most of its content, it has high replayability. Whereas in FF, it doesn't. That's the main issue that FF has. Like, WoW, you can do Mythic Plus, you can do the same dungeon on like a billion different difficulties, whatever you want, like from the start of the expansion to the end, and people won't complain that it's boring.
Replayability for us is speed kills, and like the state that they're in currently as well is like.
You know, I haven't heard about speed kills in a while. Does anyone do them?
Fuck speed. The LB cheese, like. Fuck that. Like. Farming RNG on top of doing that shit is just fuck. Like, oh no, just log out and play some else.
The issue is basically you get a speed kill, right? And you get a pretty good RNG run, and then JP comes around the corner with another 5 LBs. You're like,
and you go back in, you do 6 LBs, and then they go back in, then they do 7 LBs, and then great, like, and you go back and do 8, and it just never ends.
Okay. So just like...
Then you have balanced RNG on top of that, like, it's so boring, like, holy shit.
And that's not relatable to WoW. WoW doesn't have things like that make the Mythic Plus or like the Art of Raids boring because there's ways to cheese it. Or RNG base.
It's different, like, in WoW, like, people don't give a shit about speed killing raids. Like, they just try and pass and that's it, like, it's not the same. Like, they have a different mentality.
They don't care about their numbers?
Personal
well, they
numbers.
do, but not, like, as a unit, as a whole group.
Okay.
And then the Mythic Plus is, like, for them it's big, right? You have, like, the Invitational where whoever does, like, the key or the dungeon quicker than the other group on, like, insanely high difficulty. Where they min-max like comps and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. It's just fun.
I think the MDI now is probably bigger than the PvP tournament what they had, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Is there a samurai equivalent in WoW?
What, depleted?
Yeah, like just no one plays it or doesn't want them in the group.
Ellie Shaman?
Yeah, Ellie Shaman.
Shaman? Just Shaman.
Something with a blue name.
Okay. So like basically if someone brings in so going and doing these hard raids and doing like in-game raids, Mythic Plus and everything else, you guys go with a certain comp and you don't bring anyone else in?
Some keys at higher levels, it's a lot easier to do with a certain comp. Yeah.
Okay.
There's certain strats that you would take.
Mythic Plus has affixes, so like random things like when you kill a mob you take damage, or like when you kill a mob it buffs another mob next to it. Like it's just different affixes each week, so certain classes become more relevant than others in different affixes, so it kind of keeps a lot of comps relevant.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to give comparisons here. Jesus. Just sitting there trolling chat while we're having this conversation. But I mean, because it's important. It's important to know what we can do with Final Fantasy to make people want to come in here and be hardcore raiders in Final Fantasy. because it's weird. You know what? Before we get into that, let's finish up our review of the tier, because I have lots of conversation points I want to bring up about the state of in-game rating. But with the very last boss, this is O12S. You guys went in there, and it kind of, I'm going to be honest, when I saw Omega M and Omega F, I wasn't expecting them to be a Faust. I thought they were just part of the fight. Were you guys taken back by that?
I mean, I wish.
No, everyone expected a Faust. Like,
Yeah,
it was going to be a Faust with a checkpoint. Like,
in the patch notes, you already saw the duty timer being 120 minutes, so you just know immediately there's a Faust.
I mean, it could just be that's the thing that they do for the last fight every time.
Square Enix predictable. Come on.
there's no reason to have an extended duty timer if there's not a checkpoint. Like, it would just be 90 minutes.
Well, I mean, after you clear them, it's only like a 10-minute fight, right?
The issue I have with these Fausts is the way they do you get to 50% and then it's just a fucking rinse and repeat of what you've already done. You might as well just put that Faust in the fight and it would be like infinitely more interesting than just
we end up with 2 half fights and it's really weird. Like, rather just have one fight with all the mechanics rather than 2 fights with half the mechanics each.
I think Faust had enough mechanics. Don't think it has like half mechanics.
Yeah, but Omega itself didn't.
It doesn't have enough mechanics for it to be a standalone fight. Not quite enough. It would need some more.
I think it's worth a primal at least, definitely. Like, we took like 6 or 7 hours on Faust.
Yeah, 6 hours to kill that.
I mean, it's the hardest one that there's been so far, right?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I really enjoyed it.
It's also like 7 minutes long, like 7.5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like almost an entire fight, right?
Yeah.
Almost.
I think, like, if you compare it to another fight, all it's really missing is another phase where it repeats some more stuff. Like, I think it's like mostly mechanics for 8 minutes that barely repeat. Like, for example, the limit cut never comes back. Or mostly it's our combinations that are unique of mechanics it does later on.
Well, okay, so would you guys say having a 7-minute Faust is something that you guys would want to see again? Or would you just like them just to say, screw it, merge it, make a 17-minute fight?
I mean, either make 5 bosses or merge and make a... I mean, it wouldn't be 17 minutes. It would probably be like 12 to 15 minutes.
The thing you would cut out would be the repeat of the other boss, so it wouldn't be 17.
So the thing is, I mean, this is when you get into the situation where we're doing with A12S, where if you do enough DPS, you don't see the hardest part of the fight. You can't really leave that at the very end of the fight, right?
You can if you put a percentage push in front of it.
On 12S, like, we saw it. Like, everyone saw it in Prague. But having good DPS in Prague means you only have to do the phase once rather than twice. Or heaven forbid 3 times doing that last phase.
I did it 3 times.
Okay, well, unlucky.
Unlucky, I guess. I mean, you can say
maybe
unlucky or paladin. I don't know. It's one of the 2 things.
You know what you should have done, Frosty? You should have went and farmed some primal weapons. I hear they help.
Why are you such a punk?
I mean, on the bright side, you were probably really good at doing those mechanics.
I was a god at doing those mechanics. And with Paladin, I was like, I got it. But I did them in Shield Up. So, dude.
What?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we also did the 11S with not dying. I think after, like, all 3 towers didn't die at the end of the rotation, he started a new rotation. And we went through it. I don't know if you guys know that, but that rotation just repeats at the very end of it.
Yeah, I heard something like keeping the towers alive, and it just starts over again.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I guess percentage pushes do make sense in a way, but you're still allowing for skips and mechanics, right? Do you just want it to be like some boring mechanics and you skip those boring mechanics if you go fast enough? Like if they brought some of those repeat mechanics and then it would keep repeating it, and if you killed it fast enough, you wouldn't see as much of the repeat mechanics. You would just go into the hard phase at the very end.
My main issue with it is it's an exact repeat. Maybe if they could link the first phase mechanics to like combine in some way or something, maybe that would be a bit more interesting. But the fact that it's just an exact repeat of the first half of the fight is
Boring.
it's boring. It doesn't feel good.
Because
I got it.
on 011, like Omega Weapon like powers up, and then you get the super version of his mechanics that have like the extra components to them. But 12 is just exactly the same mechanics in the same order. And I don't know, after you've gotten through Hello World 2 successfully, like you're pretty good at those mechanics, and they're trivial at that point.
Don't get me wrong though, those mechanics were good. Like they were quite interesting. It's just complaining about the repeat of them more so than like what the mechanics were.
Because there's no fight progression after that. You're done progressing. You're just executing.
Yeah, pretty much it.
I think they could have like spiced up every mechanic like a little bit. You know, like for example, instead of just 3 hands spinning around, you could have had 4. Instead of like 3 tethers, you have 4 or 5, etc., etc.
And I wouldn't imagine that takes too much development to throw that in there either. Just add 1 extra. But then again, I'm not a programmer.
Yeah, just lose a dungeon, we can get it.
So we just don't have dungeons anymore. We'll just take them out of the game.
It's give and take, Frosty. Like, you can't have everything, can we? Holy fuck.
Well, I mean, like, then again, you
What if
guys
we
are
get,
like
like,
0.01% of the population, right? You guys don't deserve any content.
What if we just delete, like, shit content? So we just take PvP in Final Fantasy and we just go delete. What do we get from that?
A meme back in Europe? I don't know.
Do I get a hairstyle?
Does that trigger you?
What, Lee?
Does that trigger you? Or?
No, I mean, when I'm done with this tier, when I get a good chance to go over there and swing at it and try to get it cleared, I'll be able to form my own opinion on it. But I have to kind of rely on these world first memers. Is this what you're doing? You can't meme in real life anymore? You can't meme over there on the EU internet, so you meme over here on the podcast?
Yeah, of course.
How's that going? Just a tangent. How's that going, by the way? How do you enforce that shit? Anyone?
I mean, it's an EU directive, so it's basically like them telling like companies that they have to sort their own shit out. Like, no one really thinks about this kind of thing before they pass the law. It's just, yeah, now companies have to deal with it.
I guess so. So
I don't know.
Memes
We
and, like,
shouldn't make this a
advertising.
political conversation.
Oh, should we go into politics now after A12S?
Probably not with like
or
3 English people in here. I don't know. Brexit, pretty dangerous topic of conversation.
We won't go into it. But okay, so Grand Cross is basically what we run into again with Hello World version 2. Once you pass it, the fight's kind of done. Again, I agree, because it didn't get a lot of positive feedback, right? No one positively said, hey, I'm glad that we had Omega Grand Cross, and then it just repeated itself afterwards. Did you guys hear anyone say that, ever?
Well, that fight was boring.
I mean, no one liked it in Deltascape. No one liked it in Sigmascape, and Kafka started repeating stuff. And yeah, no one's gonna like it in Omega either.
Right. But I mean, overall, it's a better fight than both of those. Better ending fight, I would assume.
Yeah, it required you to push your damage buttons. So it's pretty good.
On that
Big
note,
pump.
so this was a lot more DPS intensive. Did you guys have any deaths on your clear?
One.
Yeah, mate.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Someone
just
who's
one?
not here tonight.
I think he's haunted by it in his sleep.
Yeah.
That's why he's not here.
Did you hear at the end of our clear someone saying thanks for the carry and then leaving instance immediately? Yeah, he died on the clear.
Oh, okay.
Poor guy.
And you guys ran a DPS comp for this fight. So does this mean that in progression, I guess at the very last tier, did you guys plan to have like a red mage or summoner or whatever to do reses?
Why the fuck would we plan on having a red mage?
Res mage?
I mean, I don't know. maybe you might need reses just in progression in general, right?
Yeah, summoner can res.
It's true.
Like if you need more than one res, that like if you need a caster to res more than once, then the chances are that you're gonna hit and regenerate. So you might as well just fucking run into the wall and just kill yourself and just start over.
Okay.
And if a red mage does like negative damage, then yeah, it's not doesn't worth bringing it. Like having an extra res isn't 1,000 DPS or whatever it is. I don't even know what it is anymore. Maybe like 500.
Oh, is
And
it?
that class just needs a complete rework. It's terrible.
Is it? I really haven't been keeping up with it. Is it really like the bottom of the barrel right now?
No, it's not that bad. It's
It's
just
not that bad. It's just yeah.
It doesn't
My
have use in
personal-
raids.
Summon is just better than Red Mage, in my opinion. Like, people
Okay.
can argue that point if they want, but it is better. So if it's better, like, run it.
Okay.
You won't have to go and get Suzuki weapons, maybe.
How many times are you gonna say that, man?
As many times as it takes for them not to go and fucking farm Suzuki weapons.
I mean, there was a DPS check, dude. There's a DPS check, right?
Fucking wasn't a DPS check. It was a pressure fucking buttons and doing the mechanics check. That's all it was.
Ah, Jesus. Leaf, you just trying to trigger like everyone else. All right, you know what, Leaf? Go ahead,
Maybe.
put
a
out,
little
put,
bit, a little bit.
go ahead, put your emotions out there. Put all your emotions out there.
I love you, first.
Is that all of your emotions?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So overall, this tier, probably the best tier this expansion's had, but we're still not there. There's still things that we need changed in Savage, right? We're not talking about Ultimate. I mean, this whole expansion brought us the best fights we've seen in the game because of Ultimate, though, not because of Savage. So do you guys feel like they're starting to kind of get to where we want Savage to be?
It's brought us some good fights. I don't know if I mean, I guess Ultimate Coil is up there, but like, I don't know if they're necessarily the best fights. Like, I really like Brute Justice,
Yeah.
and that was a Savage fight. And you can't compare the current Savage fights to Brute Justice. They're just not in the same league.
No. But you would have to compare Ultimate because that's the closer thing, and Ultimate is much more difficult than Brute Justice, right?
I don't think
I rem-
Ultima Weapon was
No.
necessarily like
Like-
Brute Justice was really
I
good.
think
I don't
that-
know.
I think Zeppy touched on this when we were on the show last time. The difficulty with Ultima was figuring it out for the first time, and then once the video was out, like, I think it wasn't that difficult. Especially with some things that you can cheese with shields.
How much of, I guess, like that kind of puzzle figure out stuff is part of the new tier, you think, to where all these fights are going to be super simplistic once everybody has a guide to it?
A lot, actually.
Yeah.
I think that's how they're intentionally designing them now, at least
Mhm.
for Savage. They want
Need
it
to-
to be like a puzzle for the first people, but then they want other people to be able to follow a guide.
Yeah. There are so many things in R12, for example, that you don't know. For example, the archive mechanics. You need to like figure out where's the safe spot, like how does it rotate and whatnot. It's not so straightforward as you would think it is. Or like, for example, that if you stand close, you're baiting like the wave cannon and whatnot. Or that for the wave cannons, you also have the animation part, and then on the other wave cannon, it's like you need to figure out that it's supposed to be for 2 tanks to go on that side, and everyone else goes away to the other side. So things like that is everything you need to figure out at first. Once you actually know it, it's not that hard, and you can execute it pretty easy. But at the very start, you're like completely lost, and you don't know what is even happening. So one by one, you figure it out. Like, for example, for the tank mechanic, it was someone mentioned it's like 80k damage, it's tankable. And then with that information, we've continued and figured out that, okay, maybe it's a bait, so only tanks be on that side, and it worked. And so forth. You continue through the fight.
So do you guys enjoy this kind of content where they make it a puzzle, but it's kind of devalued a little bit later because it doesn't have as much execution and skill that's associated with it?
I think it's fun. Like those both Ultimate, both the last Ultimate and O12 have been fun to proc. Whereas if you just made a fight that's obvious and also not very difficult, it would just be a fight that's also not fun to proc. So
I think
this layer of figuring out is pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Rafter, what were you saying?
So I was going to say, I think the way they design it is just good for everyone, right? Like, for us, it's difficult to figure out, so we enjoy the content, and then after we've killed it once, we don't really care anymore. But then the people that aren't, I guess, on our level with, like, wanting to do world racing, and they're not as much invested into the game that want to do it, like, it's not as difficult for them because the fight's not hard once someone tells you how to do it.
Right.
And maybe for them that's enjoyable, so I don't know. Like, it's still clearable, they can go and kill it if they want to.
Right.
Which I think is good.
I mean, they have to add...
to everyone.
Yeah, they have to add some way for you guys to be entertained without creating a fight that, again, a really great fight, a 3S. But if they create that again, you're losing a lot of people doing rating.
I think people were just not good at the game.
I mean, yeah.
At that point. I think people, the player base of the people that wanted to learn and actually raid are a lot better now than they were back then.
So you think they should release another similar A3S?
3 was fine. 4 wasn't, right? Like, I think everyone probably would agree who did 3, like, it was fine. If you played, like, perfectly, then you could kill it, which is... Like,
but I mean, is that what we want for our Savage fights, or is that what we want for our Ultimate fights?
I mean, Ultimate, you're fully geared. Savage, you have crafted. So, yeah, this is what you want now.
Okay. So the difficulty level...
If it's hard for people at the start in less gear, then it's easier with more gear, right? Like, Ultimate doesn't get easier because you have the same gear regardless.
I mean, that's true. It stays the same difficulty throughout the entire expansion. Because then they sink you down, right?
Yeah.
So
but you can get 375 like dungeon gear at some point, like if you want to call that
to really push it, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. I guess so. I guess if I look back to those days when I was playing Machinist and I was doing A3S, and I mean, to us, that was us clearing the content and we're done. We're like, hey, we cleared it, we're good, we don't care about the next fight. O4S is a bonus fight. And because, I don't know, it was just so hard to keep, after that like exhausting clear, going through all those phases, everything else, it didn't feel like we wanted to go anymore. We're just done. And so I guess they might be able to introduce that, but the thing is, there's still people out there who are complaining they have to do PvP because they're doing to get a haircut, right? How are these people going to clear A3S, and then they're going to complain that they don't get the Pizza Man minion? I'm sorry, the Pepsi Man minion.
If you do what my idea before, if you take fucking PvP and you delete it, then there's no haircuts in PvP, is there, friend?
Jesus, you son of a bitch. All right.
It's in the fucking gold saucer, isn't it, where the rest of them are?
They got to keep gold saucer. You can't take gold saucer out, dude. It doesn't matter.
That's on next on the list, friend.
Dude, it's great. Cold saucer's fine. It's just, you would have to want to go in there and just mess around with it. It's not like part of like, hey, it's like a place you go visit every once in a while. It's not a place that you sit there and you farm, unless if you really want to. It's not a place.
You don't play Lord of a Minion like weekly, or?
Hey man, I'm glad they at least tried it. Even if
are you really glad they tried that?
Yeah, why not? Why not? What's the harm in it?
Mate, I hope that guy who made that got fired.
I hope not. I hope they promoted him, and he's doing other things to experiment in the game.
I mean, that guy needs sacking. He can go work for someone else, like Riot Games or something.
Riot Games? Oh, God.
Oh, Jesus. Alright, so the other question I have before we finish off on O12S is kind of, it felt weird to me, and I guess like if I'm paying attention to the story and I care about anything else that's going on, is that we defeat Omega in O11S, then they kind of bring him back in a weird way, and an Adam Eve kind of environment that it felt out of place. I don't know, it just didn't feel like a good finish to me. Do you guys feel the same, or
Presumably, there's some story in the cutscenes that we had to skip to do.
there is
like,
story?
to go for world
isn't it
first,
that-
but like, yeah, we don't know what the story is.
Isn't
I
it
don't think.
In
What do you
11, you're in
mean
the
specifically?
I mean, okay, so this entire time we spend an entire expansion chasing Omega. We beat him, and he's like, "Hey, I'm going to turn into Omega M and Omega F and put in an extra fight here." It just didn't feel right.
Oh, it's because he couldn't comprehend how we could beat him, right?
I
guess.
read
So
the
then
story
he
today.
mimicked
I mean,
us.
it makes sense. Yeah, he mimics us.
Like in 11, we're in the sidescape, right? And then we end up like fighting Omega. Like if you look at the Greek alphabet, like it makes sense.
I guess so. I don't know.
Like he just couldn't comprehend how we could beat him, so then he evolved into that to try and beat us.
Well, the end of the Bahamut raid, we fought Bahamut was the last one. The end of the Alexander raid, we fight Alexander. I mean, Prime versions, of course. But the end of this one, we fight, I guess, Omega again, but it doesn't. Is a morphed weird version of Omega, right?
Don't you think he looked? I feel like he looked like an actual Final Fantasy, maybe like a single player RPG kind of boss. I quite liked it.
You mean the
You know what I
MNF?
mean by that?
Or like the
Not MNF, no, I mean his final form.
Neo Omega.
Yeah, I really didn't get
Yeah,
it with the tentacles and the crazy stuff, and I was like, all right, this guy's just like a weird mesh of just craziness. I mean, you guys didn't get Sephiroth because of this, right? Are you upset about that?
No.
No.
Oh. You didn't want to see a whole tier dedicated to Final Fantasy VII?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. You're done with that. I got you. You're done with that after doing the last two tiers. Fair enough.
I'll be real with you, Frosty. We don't care what I'm fighting. Could be an untextured cube with no name. If there's fun mechanics, it's a good fight.
I mean, if you're playing WoW, you don't care about texture and if things look good or not anyway, so I mean...
Exactly.
Maybe. I actually... I kind of want them to see something just brand new.
I mean, that was kind of brand new, wasn't it?
No, I mean like something not from like another Final Fantasy game.
In a raid?
Yeah.
Like an
I want to
original...
see what they... Yeah, like an original thing. Like they've shown that they can do it, right? I just want to see if they can like make a raid originally by them.
I guess so, yeah. I mean, it would have to be something that meant something, right? We'd have to care about it in some way. Well, you guys... Okay, you guys don't have to care about it.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, other people doing the content, I'm pretty sure they want to care about what's going on, so it had to be something related to the story in a way that made sense. And
But the thing is, if they're just going to keep going through like old Final Fantasy assets, like, not going to work, is it?
I mean, that's why people play this game, isn't it? For Final Fantasy. People play this game because they love Final Fantasy. It's a nostalgia theme park.
I play it because it's a good MMO.
Oh,
So, it's
okay.
Final Fantasy.
Okay. You know, that's the first positive thing you said about Final Fantasy, I think, today. Leaf?
Wait, I have said positive things about Final Fantasy. It's just NA. I haven't said anything positive about.
Oh. Okay. So, while we're on the subject of NA, I guess we can talk about the race in general, right? Let's start off. I want you guys to say your thoughts on the race and kind of the state of where the world race scene is and everything else. Anything that's just on your mind that you want to talk about. Leaf, do you want to go first?
No, I'll go last this time.
Okay.
If that's okay with you, Preston.
Okay. Rafter? Have you thought about it at all?
I think the race was kind of like, is it a race? Like you're competing against yourself. Like if you're the only person in the race, does it count? I don't know. 16 hours, pretty disappointing.
I mean, what Rafter is trying to say, not so nicely, is I think it feels like the competition has gotten a bit weaker. Like, not to talk badly about Ensemble or anything, but if they get number 2 against Elysium, which are usually doing pretty good, then something's not right.
I just feel like, okay, so when we won in Delta and Creator, like we put in like a lot of effort, right? Like we speed killed, we raided like nearly every day, and the same for UU. Like before UU, we speed killed constantly. This time, like we didn't want to play the game. We go play WoW. We come back like 2 days before the content comes out. We say, hey, can you craft us our gear? Great, and then we pay them, and then we log in like 2 days later, go into the content, and like get world first. I don't know.
Okay.
Doesn't seem that great.
Fair enough.
If it was close, I could understand. Like, or if we lost, I would even more. I expected us to lose going into this.
Well, I mean,
Like, I didn't
Elysium was
expect
in
us
the
to
same
win.
situation in the last expansion, but you guys came up in Creator and made it a lot more difficult because they were just winning over and over and over again. But you guys came back, and you guys are so far. You guys have been winning not every single tier, but pretty much.
Well, we were punished in Sigmascape for being lazy and not really raiding and prepping for that tier.
Yeah, exactly.
But this time we weren't.
You weren't punished.
I mean, I was expecting a similar performance. Like we'd probably get like third or something, but we weren't really in shape at all for this.
In response to the race, I actually would like to say that I'm quite happy that we have at least 1 or 2 other EU groups by now that are saying, hey, we want to go in more serious and do what is necessary. Like, for example, the Ensemble group with Nicked that got world second. They are also starting to say, okay, like, if we need to replace a player, then we will do it. If we need to step up, then we will do it from here onwards. And I think that's the change that Ensemble needed. And I'm happy that like a second EU group is trying to compete.
Seeing the new faces is healthy, like for the continuation of the game.
Right.
Having more people getting involved.
I think so. I think it's good because, I mean, a lot of people, you don't have, this crummy veteran, oh, I've been there, done that kind of mentality. You have people who are out there pushing hard and they're like, this isn't my goal. I haven't done this yet. I want to achieve it. So they have a lot more inspiration behind them. I mean, for you guys.
That was us going into Creator. So.
Yeah. And I mean, like.
Yeah, exactly.
We wanted to win really badly.
And you guys did. I mean, it's amazing to see what you guys were able to push out with it. So you're saying basically you want to see more groups who are realizing what needs to be done. What other things needs to be done that you think maybe are being missed out on? Anyone?
You can't really answer the question for those groups, can you? Like, only they can know what internal stripes are. Like, what their group goals were, I guess. But I remember back being in Angered where it was like me, Elia, Quarian, and I think Creator was still in the group. And, like, my goal was to beat Elysium. Like, I just wanted to, like, knock them off the perch. And I guess, like, people's goal should probably be to, like, knock us off our perch, right? Like, people like Rafter saying stuff like that. Like, that should inspire them. I don't know if that's the right word, but that
I
should
think
make
everybody
them,
wants
like,
to push
wanna...
Rafter off, don't they?
Yeah, like, that should make them want to knock him off and want to be like, clip this, and then play it to him, and be like, look, look what happened.
I didn't even mean it in like a BM way. I'm just saying, like, if we're putting in like next to no effort, I expect us to get somewhat punished for it, but it's like they just give it us away for free, right? I don't know.
I'm not sure, right? Because for me, at least, if I go away and don't play this game, I've played it that long that I only need to hit a dummy for a while, like a short while, and I'm back up to speed. So I think these players have played the game long enough for that. Maybe now with this group in particular, like, I'm not sure how much a break really affects like how prog would go.
I mean, a lot of the groups that are out there are also kind of newly formed groups too. They don't have like the synergy that you guys may have with your group that you currently have.
From what I heard, those some groups put a lot of effort in.
Yeah, a lot
especially
of practice.
groups that farm Suzaku. I heard they may have put a lot of effort in.
I think issue with like a lot of groups, and this happens in NA as well a lot. Like, I don't know, either they do bad or something happens, and then there's drama, and then the entire group disbands, and then they remake. Like with us in particular, like we've always had a core of like not even four, like 5 or 6 people, and that core's just like stayed the same. Maybe like odd person's gone here and there, but
kicked.
Yeah, just fucking booted. But I don't know.
Well,
like,
technically,
it's not like...
you guys have fed off that drama a little bit with getting some players, right?
Not really.
No.
I think.
Maybe.
In what way?
Come on, Wafter. You literally slid into my DMs after Lead Monk died.
Yeah, but I mean, I probably would have asked anyway towards the end of the tier.
Yo, he's
I don't
thrusted. So, like, he slid into my DMs as well. Even
Feels
though I
bad.
killed it before them.
I'm the only one who had to slide into Rafter's DMs.
Feels bad.
Feels bad.
It's okay.
I was asking take me for Sigma. I wasn't taken.
Wow.
Please. Okay. So the other thing to kind of talk about with the race and everything else, and by the way, yeah, everybody I think it'd be nice to see people bringing in and putting the effort in. I think they did. I think they were trying. I think there are some teams out there. There's just some other stuff. I don't know what might have happened. Like, how much did you guys sleep? If I may ask.
A lot.
Normally, like,
8 hours a night, so 2 8-hour sessions.
I think we did 7. We did
7.
7 hours on the first day.
Okay.
I mean, you said 2 sessions. We only slept once.
Okay.
Died.
That's true.
I only slept 3 hours. Feels bad.
Aw.
Oh.
I mean, logged in WoW, did some dailies. And
Okay. So the other thing is, and I feel like we got to speak on it anyways, is there is some conversation about the button in or not the button, I'm sorry, the debuff in the German translation and all that other stuff, and everybody else went on Twitter and talked about, but you guys don't play with German clients, so it didn't matter to you. But in the end, it was badly translated, right?
It was, but
Yeah.
the people saying that we had an advantage and complaining that we had an advantage, like, I don't know, that's pure bullshit. Like, we don't tell our Germans, like, go look at the different tooltips or whatever. Like, I don't know, man.
So why do people? Do you guys all just play on the same client? I figured if you're a German, you'd play on a German client, so on.
No.
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 depleted Germans play on the German client, right? Isn't that
Same with the French as well.
French client as well?
Everyone needs to be on the same page with like mechanic names and stuff.
Okay. I guess that makes sense.
Like if Zeppi's calling German mechanic names, like, we're not gonna have any clue what's going on.
I mean, you've seen like Aya, Zeppi, and Delia have all streamed, and you can see that they use the English client too. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
some faggot on Reddit wants to like.
oh come on, Lee! Jesus Christ! Don't make me bleep stuff out.
Like, if I called out, like let's say like the diffuse wave cannon, like if I called out like fokussierte Wellenkanone, like what the fuck? That would be the most retarded thing ever. Like let's be real. No one in World Prog would play on a non-English client.
Okay.
No
Except for
one.
JP, and they all play on JP.
Maybe JP, sure, but
Well, that's the thing. Like, the argument could be right. If a JP team got world if a all German team or a JP team got world first, then yeah, you could make that argument, right? But I just I don't see
Frosty,
how-
someone in the chat is asking what the drama was even about. Care if I explain real quick?
Oh no, we saw stuff on Twitter. It was more aimed at like, hey, German client says this one weird thing, and then English client says this one weird thing.
Just want to clarify what actually happened. So on Second Hello World, there's a debuff that on the English client says it's resolved by taking damage from a certain source. On the German client, it says it's resolved by doing a certain thing or something. So technically the German is correct because the mechanics that does resolve it does not do damage, so the English translation is lying to you. But even then, if you just read both the German and the English side by side, what would you actually think? Would you think the German is missing something or the English is lying to you?
I would think
like,
they were just
obviously
bad, yeah.
Yeah, you just think the English was correct and the German is missing something, right? Like, you would not have an advantage reading both. The German is less detailed.
That's true.
Wait, is the Japanese tooltip correct? Someone's saying that it's not as well.
No, I think it was incorrect as well.
Like, as in the same as the English translation?
Yeah.
or-
Yeah.
Basically the same idea. And it's just weird that they would put that in a tooltip. It felt misleading. But then again, you could assume that that's a new mechanic that they're doing, is they're putting faulty tooltips out, right?
I mean, it's what I said earlier, right?
Yeah, they
That's why I
went
said
German
earlier.
world first.
The thing is, when you're doing this mechanic, Hello World 2, right? The way how you approach this mechanic is you look at the debuffs, and the only debuff that was like, you had 2 new debuffs in this phase. It was a pink DNA debuff and a pink AoE debuff. Okay. And everything else was exactly the same as the first Hello World set. And as soon as you figure out that the pink DNA debuff has to like get damage because it's the same as the blue DNA debuff, except that you have to get damage from a different action, and the only new action you get, or like the only new debuff you get, is the pink AoE. It's so logical to assume that it must be that one in either way. Like either it is on you or it's on someone else. And if it's on someone else and you take damage from it and you die, it can only be that you have to have the debuff on yourself. And I don't know, I kind of struggle to believe that you don't think of that. It's just logical.
It's also that this pink AoE debuff serves no other purpose in the phase, and it's a really trivial mechanic. It just does AoE damage around you that one-shots people who are too close. And it expires after 15 seconds, but it passes to a new person if you make contact with them. So to have a debuff where you could just stand by yourself for 15 seconds and resolve it,
Don't sound too right.
that it doesn't sound particularly difficult. It doesn't really add anything to the phase, so there has to be some purpose in being able to pass it.
Well, you're thinking of this from an EU perspective. What if you engage your NA brain and think about it?
Jeez, Leaf is you're gonna be like the villain of the world racing. I think they don't want to push Rafter off the edge. They want to push you off the edge and just get you off your perch.
I'm all for being pushed off perches. Come at me.
You're just like spitting on people as they're trying to come up and get you. All right, so I mean, the other weird thing that you mentioned to me, and I wasn't even going to ask this, but you guys said you guys don't run with a 9th man?
No.
No 9th man kind of helping you guys go over strategy or anything else? You're just trying to figure it out? So, let's say you guys get to a new mechanic. Do you guys all look at the VOD and you're all analyzing it your own way and have a discussion, or do you just keep bashing your head into it?
We look at VOD, and someone will make a suggestion. We'll tell them if they sound stupid or not. And if it doesn't sound stupid, we'll try it. That's generally how it goes.
Okay. So
that's not to say that the use of like a 9th man wouldn't be actually useful. It's just that we haven't organized or I guess found someone who would be like, you're kind of trusting on the 8 people that you have in the raid, right? So do you really need like maybe someone for diagrams would be good, like that kind of thing, but I think if you have too many cooks in the kitchen, like it'll just end like it's just bad, right? Like you're throwing too many ideas. Like you need to people need to put their ideas forward. You pick one, you try it. Okay, it didn't work. Pick the next, try it. Okay, it worked. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. If you have someone constantly like, oh this, oh this, oh this, then I can see how that's like distracting.
Fair enough. I mean, how many of you actually actively participate in figuring out the mechanics? All of you?
No second, sorry.
How many of you actively?
Puts ideas on the table.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was wondering, is how many people in the group actually do it, and how many people are lazy and they sit back and they're like, all right, I'll do whatever you say, I don't care.
I know everyone contributes because everybody wants to win, right? So everyone's like trying their best.
Who has the stupidest ideas?
Wafter. One time one time his idea was so bad, we bullied him about it, and he like stopped talking for like 10 minutes.
If you watch the Adam and Eve, like I'm still like bullying him from the previous attempt. It's pretty good.
What was the idea? What was it that you got bullied
dude,
for?
if I had to remember like everything retarded.
No, I think it was on the Tava hands on 012.
Yeah, Tava hands.
Like Zeppy and I said it was proximity and checked like videos while Wafter was explaining some absolute nonsense. And then just told Wafter it's proximity.
Turn around. Did what you were trying to tell us.
Raptor's like, is he? Would you consider Raptor the leader of the group?
Everyone in this group should be able to lead. There's no one leader in this group.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So, like, if you're like, hey, we got to kick someone out, 7 of the leaders go against the 8th leader.
Yeah, like, if the entire group wanted to kick me, like, I couldn't
Everyone's
stop them.
equal in this group.
Everyone's equal.
Okay. So no one has like immunity. They'll be kicked out of the group. No one's like.
No.
Okay.
No.
So let's see. I think that's actually all the questions about the race that I had in general. There's some other questions I have that are not around the race that I want to ask though. Before we get into viewer questions, before we get into viewer questions too, we are doing a giveaway. Sorry, I guess I should have mentioned that at the beginning of the stream, and I totally did not. We are doing a giveaway for a mount. It's a Echo Gear monitor mount, which is I'm using right now, and I was like, why do I need a monitor mount? You guys might not use monitor mounts. Any of you guys use monitor mounts?
No.
No?
No.
No.
I think Aliyah does, but he's not here.
The monitor mount, it's weird because at first I was like, it doesn't make any sense. I don't need it. But once I got it, I feel like I'm a god. I don't know. It just feels amazing being able to move the monitor exactly whichever way that I want it to be. But
you're selling it to me. Holy shit!
I mean, it's amazing, dude. I don't, and you know, I didn't give a crap about it. I was like, whatever. I put my monitors on a desk. I just get used to the level they're at. But now I can put them wherever I want to, organize it in this crazy way, and it feels amazing. It's like going standard to like HD. But we're going to do a giveaway for that. They're pretty good mounts. Check out the link that we put in there. But we'll do that right before we start the viewer questions. I have a few more questions I want to go over here. So you have a year left. What are you guys going to do for a year?
Play WoW.
Play WoW? Is that it?
I'm going to play Monster Hunter World as well. Have they released the other content yet? Or yeah.
For Monster Hunter?
They just released Tempered Deviljho.
Okay.
PC?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't play it on PS4, so it's like new to me.
Okay. I felt like Monster Hunter was amazing until I started beating all the tempered monsters, and I was like, I don't know, man. It felt like the same thing over and over again, which is something that you guys might feel doing stuff like raids.
Yeah, I mean, that's Final Fantasy for me.
And so it kind of got old after I got to kind of the hardest levels, and I was like, whatever, I'll be done for now. So what could they release besides an Ultimate in 4.5 that would bring you guys back to play that patch?
Oh, we'll be back regardless if there's an Ultimate.
To the story, right? To go through the story.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they could release a primal fight that's not a joke. That'd be pretty nice as well.
Nidhogg, I do feel that Nidhogg was kind of a race, at least somewhat meaningful. Like, maybe if it was like Nidhogg or a bit difficult, then yeah.
Yeah, if they give us a primal we can race, that would be pretty good.
I mean, I guess that would be I don't know if I'm going to track a primal race.
Oh, no.
I mean, maybe if they announce something beforehand about like the difficulty of this being a bit higher than usual, then maybe it's worth tracking. Depends what they do.
The other thing is, again, as I said earlier, Blue Mage, if they release it, like I think a lot of people have already said that they would come to try it out.
Yeah, I would race to get first Blue Mage. That would be fun. The thing is, though, like...
Wait, does one Blue Mage and one Red Mage make one good mage?
I mean, I guess so. I guess so.
Is that how you mix colors? Maybe. Oh.
I don't know, man. We'll have a red mage, a blue mage, a white
Yeah,
mage,
black
and a
and
black
white.
mage. Yeah, so
One
half
good
the
one.
raid is mage, and that would be pretty good.
Yeah.
The people also, by the way, asked me to track first to max level for Pagos.
Who won, a JP guy? Or?
I can't do it.
How do you know that? Like, how can you track it? Just
same way that
screenshot?
you track, screenshots and stuff, and Twitters and everything else. The first person to declare that they actually did it. Although people don't think about tracking it when they're... I mean, I think the people who are going for max and being first with Pagos are going to let people know they were first. So it's not that hard to track.
The thing is, isn't like being first to what, the first to 20 or first to get the weapon? Because you're kind of cooked by needing to kill the guy.
I think it's a level, right? That would probably be the fairest.
Yeah, I guess the level.
Yeah, because then there's
you
some
can't
RNG with
solo.
the weapon, right?
Well, you can't solo the guy, so do you know what I mean? Like more
Yeah.
people. Like
That's true.
you doing a world race for the next Heaven and High?
No. I'm gonna.
No?
So if there's no raids, if there's no Savage, Ultimate, or something that's going to take like a decent period of time that's challenging PvE content, I'm not going to track anything. I'm just going to work on the website. I'm just going to try to build up the website. I'll try to have something for 5.0 when it's released, so I can actually have something that's worth. Because there's no way. I tried, by the way, to do some tracking on the website, and I was like, fuck this. I don't have any way to just do it easily there yet, and I have to build a system. And I'm doing all this by scratch, and I don't know if I should be doing it by scratch, but it's going to be a lot of programming. That's probably what my main goal, instead of doing like World Race stuff and tracking this, because I don't sleep when World Race happens. I go through 40...
Wait, do you want to be our 9th man?
No. No, not at all.
A guy like you.
Unlucky. Not at all. Oh.
As soon as the content's released, I'm awake. I'm ready to I'm checking Twitter. I'm checking Reddit. I'm checking everything. I'm just going everywhere I can to find information. And I do that for like 24 hours. I sleep for like 4 hours. And then I come back and I do it more. And I need to be able to have a website where I can moderate people to organize and do this stuff when I'm asleep. So hopefully I can get that all situated by then. But then again, if nothing's released, you guys are going, playing other games, coming in, doing the casual content for 4.5, and then it's going to be a long wait from 4.5, which I would assume would be released somewhere in January, to be honest with you. And then we get the expansion maybe 7 months later. I feel like something has to be done to keep people engaged.
That's why it's so disappointing that they actually aren't doing the Ultimate Fight, right?
Right.
That could have been people's goal before the expansion, so. But we'll see like what they actually end up coming out with.
Yeah, 4.5 has to have some sort of surprise in for us. Or a 4.6 or something, I don't know. Okay.
Diadem is coming back.
Woo! Diadem. A lot of
Can't
menu
wait.
too.
It is already back. We have it in a
Another
different
Eureka as well. All the content.
Mate,
Can't
you're dissing Diadem, but the original Diadem where you all just like mindlessly fucking zerg those mobs was great. It's only when they like cooked you into like getting no loot that it was just trash, right?
That's the thing.
I
You just
agree.
gotta keep doing it. Get the best pink gear possible.
Yeah.
The first version of Diadem was the only good version, and they got worse every time they tried to improve it.
I
Yeah,
guess
because
so.
you needed to do like the bonus event or whatever it was, and then it required people to have a brain, and people didn't have a brain because they were all idiots, and it was just frustrating to go in there. And then you just looked out and never did it ever again. Because you couldn't like do it in like a group of 6. You needed more people to be able to like, contribute,
Right.
or 8 or whatever the size it is.
Or
in that game.
50. I mean, okay. So the other question about that is not having any kind of hard, difficult content for, I guess, a period of a year. Do you think that there's any chance that you're just going to fall off board with Final Fantasy and move on to something else, or no matter what, you're coming back?
I think it's healthy not to just play. Like, if you're playing Final Fantasy for the sake of playing Final Fantasy, then I'm not sure, like, you need to take a look at yourself and fucking play another game.
I mean,
Like, there's not enough content in this game to keep you, like, playing at least as much as we do. Like, we're fucking no-life saddos, right? Like, we need content, and lots of it, so we're gonna go elsewhere. But, I mean,
yeah.
I played this game for so long that I'm gonna keep coming back.
Okay.
I won't do a Layla Bell.
All right, so definitely you guys will come back. You'll just be on hiatus until there's content that you want to do. But as soon as there's content that you want to do, no matter what, you're coming back for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so let's
mean-
go ahead.
The thing about Final Fantasy is the blind proc of fights is a lot of fun. Like figuring out the mechanics, how they work. coordinating everything, timing it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's like one of the most enjoyable things people have in this game. Otherwise, not like so many people have been quitting already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean,
The game is good. It just needs more content. Like, if more people played the game and they put more money into the game,
they just
then
need
the
to
game would be great.
put more money in the PvP. That's replayable.
Yeah, definitely.
That's good. Hold on. So I'm trying to set this up. I haven't done this in a while. I'm going to start the giveaway stuff. So if you guys want more information while I'm doing that, there's the information for it. And I think I need to... Everybody can win. No minimum bits. Subscribe time. Let's do keyword. Keyword. And I'm not going to put that on there. I'm going to make sure all settings are good before I even say anything about the keyword. I was just thinking about using some of Leaf's words here to do the keyword.
Is this still rigged, or is
It's
this legit? We
totally
rigged it, right?
Yeah,
Like the
completely
world
rigged.
finish race.
By the way, giveaway. I have to give information about this too, because there are shipping regards to it, and you guys are EU. I'm very sorry, but this is based from a company that's not shipping to EU. It's a, I guess I should have said this earlier for people who might have been waiting around for it, but it's going to be U.S., Canada, excluding Quebec. If you guys
That's
are in
okay,
those
yeah.
areas, yeah. I mean, that's a pretty basic, generic giveaway option. That's just what it is.
Maybe Final Fantasy should do that. You have like your own little special regional tier to fight
Yeah,
for.
at least NA can win something.
Jesus, fuck. Man, they were kicking your ass back in the last expansion. Come on, dude. Let's see, announce winner. I'm not gonna announce winner in case, like, if I don't like your name, I'm not gonna let you. I'm not gonna let you win. Let's see. All right, so word I can use is, let's see, not
Rigged.
something. Rigged. No, not rigged.
Legal.
Delete. Gosh. I'm trying to think of something that's just like really easy but relevant. I'm just gonna do
Is
mount.
this something that
mount?
something
It's mount.
that any people can spell?
Jesus Christ. All right, I think I have it. Set up. And I can hit this. Everybody type in mount. See if that works. See if your names start popping up in this list. Already spelling it wrong. No. I haven't done this in a while, guys.
Is that fair? See you trying.
What'd you say?
I want to see if it's rigged or not. That's what it is.
That's fair.
Oh yeah, let's go. We're typing.
It's saying, people are saying stuff in here. I don't know if it's telling me.
Wait, is it exclamation point mount or just mount?
It's just mount.
There you go.
It's lowercase mount. Finish loading.
Check the
and
Google
the tab.
Google Analytics for how to spell mount now. It's gone through the fucking roof.
I need to make sure that, yeah, there's not the spam part in here. Jesus, what is this? Why is this Twitch thing not working? Let me pull this up. Sorry guys, I'm horrible. Maybe I don't have the extension or plugin set up. Settings. Announce winners, display tooltips. I'm gonna have to cut this out of the VOD. Because it's not pulling
People
up.
in the bot can't win anyway, so.
Yeah. Yeah, why would I have it in there anyways for them? Okay. Let me just pull up the stream. And then I'm going to come over here to the giveaway, hit the button here. If chat fails to load, press F5 to reload page. Letting chat no tab. Yeah, it doesn't show. It usually shows the chat on the side. You guys do giveaways all the time on your Twitch channels, right?
Yeah, always.
Yep.
Always. Okay. And then I'll come over here. Let's see if the giveaway thing pops up again. Try a different browser. Alright, well, I'm going to ask you guys a question while I'm setting this up. Are you guys ready for a question?
Yeah, give it to me.
All right. Harold Saxton wants to know what your food snack of choice was during progression.
Take it away, Aya.
Okay, so you might remember last time in the MogTalk for Ultimate, I was talking about how much I liked watermelon and for progression, and this time I got scammed. The first day of this year that or rather, the first time this watermelon season that my local grocery store stopped serving watermelon or selling them was the Monday before prog. I couldn't stock up on watermelon. I got scammed. So I had to substitute my watermelons for bananas.
Okay. How did the bananas work out for you?
I mean, we won by 16 hours.
You're saying that NA doesn't eat enough bananas? Is that what you're saying?
Is that it?
Them off.
Alright, I'm gonna remove this extension and I'm gonna add it on again. Give me 1 second, guys. Alright, everyone else, tell me your snacks of choice. Come on. Ayesa?
I barely even ate during this prog, so I didn't really have a snack.
Isn't that bad?
Pretty bad.
I mean, probably, but I find it difficult to keep food down with like all the adrenaline and stuff.
Okay. Do you just get like sick and you're just like, I guess that's the other thing we could talk about, right? There's a lot of people who said that there's epilepsy issues with playing this game. Do you guys feel like that might be justified in some way? Did some of it seem a little bit too flashy for you?
I mean, in 011, yeah, there might be some issues with those strobing lasers.
I think God Kafka was worse. Like the yellow in God Kafka, I think was way worse on my eyes than this bro.
Oh, really? Yeah, to be honest with you, that yellow is absolutely horrid. I could never, ever get used to it. Even after seeing it hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times, eventually it just like, I don't know. It just, I look at it and I get a sick feeling. Do you guys get that too? Like you just start to feel like ill, like, you know, when you go into a hospital and you just relate the smell to it to something sick. I kind of felt that with the color that they chose for it.
I just like the Faust Arena.
Okay. Just the Faust Arena?
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, I don't know what's going on with this. Is there another way to do giveaways besides this extension? Somebody in chat can tell me. I'm going to kill myself over it. I'm going to focus on you guys for a minute while we get a little bit of help with the giveaway stuff. I guess I should have tested it or something before we started the stream. Wouldn't that be professional?
Can't believe you're just keeping the monitor mount to yourself.
The monitor all to myself? Yeah, I'm keeping the mount to myself, yeah.
Why don't you just pick one?
Just pick someone randomly in chat? That would feel kind of unfair, right?
I
bet I could
have everyone
do a number.
Everyone type, have everyone type a number from 1 to 1,000.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't want to do that. Okay. I could do this. I could do a Google form, have everybody submit. Fuck, that would be bad because I can't track that. Never mind. All right, next question. How do you place waymarks for O12S Omega?
You open the menu, right? And this is like, it's called waymarks.
Mm-hmm.
And then you click it, and then the waymark appears, like where your mouse is. And then you like click it again.
We had an advantage because Raptor's really good at clicking, so our waymarks were perfect.
You don't have a simple organization that you're like, this is exactly how we use waymarks in the thing?
Actually, we were using, I think Elia was using the radius of his earthly star to position the waymarks.
He got his protractor out on the monitor.
The what?
His protractor.
Protractor?
Protractor?
You know what
Yeah, I do.
protractor?
I'm sorry, I'm NA.
Oh, you mean Rafter, like,
Oh.
Rafter can't speak properly, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's what.
That's bad, man.
A random number generator, but how would I associate the number to the people in chat? That's the thing that I would be confused about, because then I would have to try to keep track of all the different numbers and everything else. Send that over to me. Okay, so you use a projector, you get the get
No,
the map.
We used like Elias star, because you know the radius, right, from tooltips. If the tooltip's correct, though. Okay. So you use that for radius, and then you can place the stars. So you can place the waymarks so they don't overlap, but only if the tooltip is correct. So we used the English ones, and we assumed that they were correct. We haven't checked the German ones, but we'll do that on the private server later. We need to PTR test 4.5.
Oh my god, you're laughing. It's just like perfect. What? Okay. Hold on, I think I have something. I think I have something. Open. Alright, so let's do this. Let's everybody type in !raffle. And you guys put your names in here and see if this fills up. Alright, I'm gonna test it just to make sure it works, because I don't see anyone coming into this raffle. I think Chrome did an extension or like an upgrade recently, and I think it messed everything up. Like nothing's working. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
I haven't done any giveaways recently, I'm afraid.
I think NA did a giveaway recently,
Okay.
but
I think. All right. Everybody stop. All right. We're gonna restart the raffle. All right. I'm restarting it. Everybody can enter now. It is working. It's working. Okay. Everybody go in there and say !raffle again, and then we'll be able to get you in there. It's working. It's just not showing the list. Okay, I gotta ask you guys another question here. Every time you get world first, Reddit people mods seem to bully you actively. How do you guys feel about it?
Really sad.
Yeah, anonymous Redditor. Do you guys feel good about that? Does it make you feel warm in the heart to know people care enough to do that?
I think like you can just apply it to. You just need thick skin, right? If something what someone says on the internet bothers you, like, what can you do?
I mean, it's as far as I checked, it's the same dude who's been posting on every single Entropy/Engat Reddit post. So I'm assuming you guys messed up this guy pretty hard. Like, he's fucked in his brain. Like, he's so salty that he's literally on every single Reddit post about Entropy and Engat, trying
Maybe we built
to
the house
stir
he
up drama.
wanted.
I quite like Yonder though. I don't mind it. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's the same guy who sent in his clear submission saying that I was a worthless piece of trash and my parents had made a mistake by giving birth to me.
Maybe.
Oof.
It was rough, man. I saw that and I was like, man, I'm going to feel bad all day. I'm just not going to feel good anymore.
That's what people do with anonymity, though, right? So I don't know.
Yeah, that's just what it is. All right, so I'm going to do this. Let's draw. Oh, no way.
Is it me? Did I win?
No, it's not.
Did I win?
It's not. You guys won't believe who it is, though.
Looking rigged. Is it you?
Is it Layla?
Is it Goka? It's Goka, isn't it?
Okay.
Fuck off. Fuck off. It's fucking rigged.
Fucking Rick.
It's what it says. It's right here.
Congrats on it. You didn't even have to farm weapons to win this one. Good job.
I don't know what to say. I wasn't expecting that to happen. Goka, get with me later on. And we'll get the details worked out. I mean, Mubot said it. I don't know what else to say. I'm not going to re-roll it. I mean, I could re-roll it because it was him. You guys think I should re-roll it because it was someone that we know?
No.
No, I mean,
Okay. All right.
You want it, you want it.
It's true. If you guys are interested in the monitor mounts, again, they are really great. Please feel free to click on that link. And again, if you use the promo code blah 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 Frosty10, afterwards you get a 10% discount on them too. They're worth the money. Again, it felt like going from one definition to a whole nother definition once I got it. Past that, let's go into some more of these viewer questions because I feel like this is the most important part. At the end of your O12S clear, someone says thanks for the carry. Is there anyone in your group you'd like to praise for doing exceptionally this year? So okay, that's a good question. All right, I actually thought that was going to be a meme question. Was there anyone in your group who did like really well, that just stood out, and you're like, holy crap, this guy was amazing?
Yeah, Ruby Carbuncle was pretty good.
Yeah.
Did we even have Ruby Carbuncle this year?
No, that's why
you did not have Ruby Carbuncle this time.
Yeah, it didn't fuck up once.
I don't think it's right to single one player out when it was a collective effort, and I think that everyone, at some points, like contributed to the success for us. So to single out one person just wouldn't be right. Like I think everyone did their best and performed well. Like Wedgent dying on that final clear, like I'm pretty sure he felt bad about it, but like he shouldn't because he performed really well for this tour.
Okay. I mean, that's a fair statement, but you know, what the question was, did anyone stand out? You gotta...
Okay, me, mate.
Okay.
Me. Oh, me.
All you gotta do is look at the log, right?
Guess so.
See whose name's at the top of the log.
So I see a section in here where like most of the comments are say Anon as the person who's doing it, and it's over and over and over again. You guys think we should just skip all their questions because it's probably just the same person? Just saying a whole bunch of random questions.
Is the question good? Oh, spicy? Cause...
Is Zeppy's third world first in a row? Yeah, this is your third, right? This 50th?
I thought, yeah. Well, depends if you count 09 and 10 or 10.
I think the final boss, you know, so it's your third.
Then it is.
Okay. They also want to know, apparently you guys might know this, if JP players are quitting the game, they seem to never try and compete in a world race now. They do. It's just there's no one, I think, that's at the level of going super crazy with it. They play hard and they try hard, but I think that with their schedule, doesn't it like start in the middle of the day for them?
The evening, no? Like, isn't it?
Evening, yeah,
evening?
but it starts
6 p.m.
Yeah, so it starts pretty late for them. So it's weird. I feel like they get a cutoff before everyone else when they actually go to sleep and try for the next part, unless if they're completely mess up their schedule. Because then when they're running into like the evening of the next day, they're already hitting.
Frosty, if you're committed, like you would just change your sleep schedule would be different before you're doing prog. Do you know what I mean? Like if we had to wake up at a different time, like we would be on that sleep schedule. Yeah.
I guess so.
I mean, prog starts in like middle of the night on West Coast, so.
I don't know if there's enough information because of the language barrier to know like how hard those groups went, right? Like if they stream, then you know, but if they don't, then...
Some stream, yeah, but it's interesting because we're seeing a lot more JP streamers for Twitch around raid time, and I think Ultimate kind of started that, right?
Yeah.
We didn't really see that at all before. Would you guys ever be open to like streaming? Are you guys 100% never going to stream?
We wanted to stream this prog.
Yeah.
Or it was open for discussion.
Okay.
I think it will always be open to discussion, but if the majority don't, if the majority don't want to do it, then it won't be something that's like forced upon people.
Okay.
I think it's just like more of a disadvantage to do it in this game than WoW, because literally the entire like difficulty of prog is figuring something out. So if you stream yourself solving the most recent mechanics that people are on, suddenly everybody is basically instantly caught up to you.
Yep.
Like if we streamed, we'd not be probably going into it with the like thoughts that we're going to win it, but just get some like Twitch money or whatever.
That's what I wanted to say. If you stream, you 100% know that you're not going for world first, right. And no one who streams could even get world first.
I mean, it's possible.
Unless if you have players that can play on a 100% execution level, but that doesn't exist. We are humans.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, like, it's a thought, though, right? Because you guys don't really get anything out of World First. You don't get, like, a server-wide message. You'll get a tweet, probably, but you don't get, like, something crazy out of it.
Not even that.
We wouldn't do it if we didn't get anything out of it, right? Like, we do it because we enjoy doing it. And that's, like, what we get out of playing the game, right?
But, I mean, does Method do that? Does these other teams do it? I mean, they get money for it, so these guys are encouraged to go really hard at it, and I think maybe that's one of the issues, right? We don't have a lot of people out there going super hardcore because there's not really anything in it.
Final Fantasy, in terms of like player base and like how established it is just not comparable, like whatsoever. Like the average viewer base between like the Final Fantasy channel and the fucking WoW channel is like incomprehensible, right? Like it's just they just don't compare. Like
that's fair.
These people already have like, because they played that game for years, they already have their established like viewer base, and then you're just like, if they want to stream World First, they've already PTR tested like fucking 7 out of 8 of the bosses, so they already have the strats done, and then all like the races for the final boss, right? Whereas for us, it would be like the race starts from the beginning, and if someone's watching our stream, they see us figure out Hello World 2, and then they fucking kill it, that portal, where someone's telling them what to do. Do you know what I mean? Just
it's true.
It's not the same. Even
like,
for cash.
If you had every single group that is saying we want to go forward first, like if you had every group collectively go stream, then maybe it would work out. But even then you would probably have, but then you would have still 9th members who are watching other streams and be like, oh, these guys figured this out and that, and
yeah, suddenly the 4-man analyst team of Elysium is actually useful.
You saying that they may have been useless? Here's
a good question. Who did your data mining, and how much did you gain from it?
Well, we'd already done the fights on the private server, so we didn't need to go to data mine anything. So that's kind of a stupid question. But...
Yeah, I know, I got you. Let's see. What do you think is the reason you guys went from 3rd back to 1st in Ultimate and Savage?
We have less Italians now, so...
I think the mentality going into Sigmascape was pretty bad, to be honest.
Okay.
Like, it's hard to explain, because we actually did well this tier, even though you could maybe somewhat draw comparisons, but I think like the group dynamics at that point were like, I don't know, they were like off, and it just didn't feel great going into that prog, I don't think. But maybe other people can talk about it.
I think a lot of us were bored with the game going into Sigmascape, but this time around we've had our 2-month break or whatever, and we're sort of ready to go again. But when Sigmascape came around, it didn't really feel like many of us even wanted to play.
That's not to say that the groups that beat us did well, though. But I think they did like really well. Owen and Wheelchair.
Yeah, no. Owen did amazing, and they're always in the race.
They're always participating.
Yeah, they're always trying, and I appreciate it, because to be honest with you, I don't think any of us really have a lot of contact with the JP servers and the raid teams and everything until the World Race happens, right? It kind of brings everyone together to sit there and compete, and I think it's amazing. That's the one thing that I hope never really goes away, is that we have JP teams out there also competing with us.
As long as it's not the group of dickheads from that time.
Yeah, they don't. Oh, we're not going to give you a name. Oh, we're not going to tell you who we are. Oh, we cleared it, but we're not going to release it.
Yeah, man.
Screw these guys, man. All right, Sabib and Mustafar. Leaf, you left your underwear at the gaming house. Do you want me to mail it to you?
Are they dirty still? Or?
You want him to clean it before he sends it to you?
Yeah, maybe. Leave me a surprise inside it.
Oh.
Or maybe I left a surprise in it for him.
Well, he probably took it by now.
Fuck it, alright.
Oh, geez, a lot of these questions aren't really that great. Sorry, guys.
No, we need this one first, yeah.
Which one? The one up here?
Yeah.
NA's Karma. Did you guys, the Leaf, did you put this in here?
No,
I
leave.
think I know who put this in.
Do you
Yeah,
think
I just-
EM do you think EM losing the world race was a result of them deciding to replace one key member?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Who was that key member? That Phantom?
Phantom
you were talking about?
Assassin.
Isn't he the fucking linchpin of the group?
The
He can
linchpin.
play the game. It's not common on NA.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You guys are a bunch of poop heads.
That's bad.
We already know the answer to that one. Oh, okay. Aya, did you pick bananas because of the texture or because of its physique?
I picked it because of the ease of eating them, which is what I was really looking for in watermelons.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Fair enough. A lot of people want to know about your streaming, but we already answered that. It's Ryder. With you running Astro for progression, was there any points during O12S where Rafter had to jump from the arena due to a misplaced bull?
Yeah, I mean, Alaya always fucking does that. Like, there's an AoE balance, and then I just suddenly get this ball card, so I have to like reset the fight. Yeah.
There's actually a funny story behind why we ended up with Astro, and he went out to he started on white. The plan was to do white mage for the first 3, and then switch to Astro for the last. But he actually just went out and forgot to change jobs, and then we had Astro.
And then we went back out for him to change, and he forgot to change, so we went back in with Astro. And at that point, it's just, okay, we're playing Astro.
Oh my god. Okay. Rafter, would you have rather gone Dark Knight this prog?
Oh no.
No?
I'd rather just press Falcleave over and over and over again, and then I don't have to think, right?
I mean, that's what playing Warrior is, right? I mean,
Yeah, it's pretty brain dead.
There's nothing really
I
to
think-
it.
I think the real question is, can Rafter ever go back to Dark Knight after seeing a superior player pick up the class and absolutely dominate him?
I mean, the undisputed god. Phew.
I think that's what I'm alluding to, yes.
I don't know if I can compete, guys. Too good.
The destruction is too violent, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, maybe NA should pick him up.
Maybe. His NA brain might be good for them.
All the jokes. How many of you guys have, meme accounts on, Reddit and you're posting, meme comments on every single thread? None of you?
No.
I don't
just
really
have my
use
main
Reddit.
account.
Oh, okay. I thought you guys were all just crazy people. I guess this is the last one I can ask here. Who figured out the most mechanics? If you had a scoreboard with who was figuring out these mechanics, who was correct in the majority of them?
Oh, we're talking about points.
Oh, the points are
Points! Points!
You're getting this guy started?
What? I can't hear you. What'd you say?
You accidentally brought up a proc meme of ours. Points.
Oh, what is that? Is it a
Basically
DKP?
exactly what you said. Who got the
Basically,
most
right?
points?
You let someone start a sentence, right, where they've got the gist of the mechanic right, and then you just talk over them, and then that's your point, right? So if you keep doing that, then you end up with the most points, and then you win. So
Did you
obviously
guys
it was
actually
me.
do that?
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
No.
Leaf always has the most points.
Oh my god.
To answer it seriously, I'm not sure if anyone seriously collects points, but maybe someone could answer it and say who.
I would have no idea.
I don't think we have time to collect points in proc.
Do you remember, is there any person that you're like, hey, this person definitely is right most of the time with what they figured out with the mechanics?
No one's right 100% of the time.
It was 99 versus 97.
It's kinda like-
is it so close that you're like, we're just a good group that works together and we're best friends and we figure it all out equally?
It's more like someone starts with the ground of an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Like Hello World 2, I said something like, okay, we need to use the pink to remove the pink, but then someone would expand on it saying, okay, you need to pass the pink to this guy to then pass to these other people.
Mm-hmm.
And people just build on the grounds of an idea to make it an actual strategy. Like it's not just one person figuring it out; it's like a collective.
Yeah, like you always figure out bits by bits, like together, and then go off by saying, okay, so let's do it like this, let's do it like protein wave and whatnot.
And then Leaf comes in at the end and says, yeah, exactly like I said.
Yep.
Okay. We have a question here from Dev Knights 2, actually. Are there any changes that you'd like to see in the raiding community?
More competition?
Just more competition, is that it?
Am I supposed to, like, any changes that I want? Like, maybe they have changes they want to see, but for me, I do not care what they do, and I care about what my group does and what we want to do. Anyone else is not really in the equation. So,
as long
no,
as you
I
can
don't
beat
care.
them, that's all that matters, right? You don't care what they're doing, you don't care kind of what they're out, and everything else.
They can do whatever they want.
Okay. Anyone else has any other different thoughts on that? I guess not.
No,
All right.
not really.
All right. Fair
I
enough.
just want to encourage people, what Leith said earlier as well. Get motivated, try to beat Rafter, kill him, and make a group. Because that's what I think, like, when Layla Bell quit Final Fantasy, right, and his team died, it was actually quite the loss, because NA lost, like, their second group that is saying, like, hey, we want to go for world first. And it's always sad when you lose a group like that.
Yeah. I mean, Layla, of course, we all miss you in the raiding scene, this tier. But, I mean, there are other groups out there. They gotta push. I don't know what to tell them. Is there any groups out there that are in the world race that you think, oh, maybe they're making this mistake and that's why they're not able to catch up with us? Or is it just pure skill and execution?
Can't really attest to why. Like, you'd have to watch them, right, or like be a part of it to know what the problem is. But
Like I think like NA has a lot of good players and they could make a good team, but like half
Yeah,
the
for
time
sure.
there's like drama all the time or something like that. Like I don't know, like
is
Layla
it
Bell kept a group
experience?
together and it was fine.
is it experience now? Like, a lot of players in this group have actually like done prog for a while. Like, the experience in this group is crazy compared to probably what other groups are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of doing prog. Like, maybe that is one of the issue. Maybe we need to disband.
You guys should disband.
I will join another team and see what happens.
I mean, all you
And
gotta
what
do
happened
is, like, you know, just take care of your pets.
Yeah, I see
Easy.
what you mean. It's like, I said this on a Discord at some point. You have groups that went through, like, an extremely long process of replacing or kicking players, or, like, people quitting, and you take someone better in. And over the time, you get so good groups, or, like, players, and you know that they're good, that essentially, you know, you have to bring something against that.
I guess so. I mean, I really think it comes down to coordination with the group itself. If you have the same people playing together multiple times in a row, you guys have an idea what you need to do, how you're thinking, and you're all organized. You're not stepping over each other, which may be what new groups are having an issue with. And they don't stay together for the next tier, which I think in almost most groups are probably going to reform by 5.0. So it's probably going to be more of the same, unless if you guys disband into 10 different groups.
Thing is, like, if you can identify, like, say if you didn't meet your goal, like, say that team, however, you just need to identify, like, what was good, right? And then if you can keep that core of good together, then you can try and add to it, right? And then bit by bit, you're just making yourself better. So, like, that's what this group did. Like, we started, we replaced, like, we made ourselves better, and I think that this is probably the best iteration of, like, this group in Angered Entropy that, like, there's been. So.
Is this the best group you guys have ever had? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Fair enough. All right, I think that's all the questions I have for today, guys. Lots of other little questions popped up afterwards, but we have been over 2 hours now. I think it's time to start curving it down. Guys, is there any last statements before we do shout-outs and everything else? Just kind of anything else that you just want to get off your chest that you've been holding on to, or you think you've said everything that you were thinking about?
Amazing tier. Let's hope we get more Savage tiers like this, and that they don't say in 5.0, hey, we have new skills. Ha! We get this. You have this 15 hours tier or something. Let's hope they don't do that again.
I mean, it's probably going to be like people learning jobs again, and that's going to hold people back, but I don't know.
I don't think it does at that point. I think the game has been out long enough that most people, especially at like the top end, pick up anything new pretty quickly.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Okay. Ayesa, any last thoughts that you have?
No, I think we've pretty much covered everything.
Okay. Is it okay if I call you Ayesa instead of Spencer, by the way?
I don't mind what you call me.
Oh, whoa, okay.
Ooh.
Nice.
I might not respond to certain names, but
Call me daddy.
I know you.
All right.
I thought that was Rafter.
All right. Guys, are there shout-outs? Is there anyone that you guys want to acknowledge that maybe we haven't acknowledged? Like crafters or anyone else that helped you guys through prog?
Oh yeah, for sure. Our crafters did really well this tier. Like, props to them.
Yeah,
Our
crafters
crafter is also Guinea Bear and Nexum
Nexum,
for doing the melding for us.
Okay. Just mainly Guinea Bear and I didn't actually know Guinea Bear did that. He's pretty much leading am I saying it right? Entropy.
Entropy.
Okay. I knew that was it, but go ahead.
Shout out to a Falmer as well. Who's been there crafting for us, despite the drums.
The housing
for me as well. Shout out to the crafters on Cerberus that I collected on Saturday before prog, and Zervi, who gave me free pots and food through the prog, and also Nyavi, who helped with data mining.
Shout out to the Wagner Walker market board where we got our food and pots.
Oh, I forgot the most important person. Shout out to Fretty. You know why?
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Are you guys all going to be streaming anything? How many of you are going to be like actively doing Final Fantasy 14 and streaming? Any of you guys at all?
We'll be doing weekly clear.
You're going to be streaming on your account? It's just Leaf Noir, right?
Some people will be streaming. I'm not sure if I will, but like Zeppy mainly streams. I know Elia does, and Wedgent streams as well.
What is Zeppy? I can't remember how to spell yours exactly.
899.
Is it just Zeppy 899?
Yep.
There you go. Like that?
Yep.
All right, you guys should follow them if you'd like to see anything from these world first class players. And, you know, by the way, the opening, I saw that earlier, opening with the Star Wars thing, which is going to be completely cut from the VOD because of Disney, is all Zeppy.
Also Aya. Aya
and Zeppy. No, if it's, I don't know what it is. I think it's the scrolling text is what gets it.
I think it's the music.
Right?
It's the music.
You think it's the music? Well, I don't know. Yeah. It still might. Maybe I can try to sneak it in there. It doesn't matter if I take it down. It's not like I'm making money off of it. So we'll see. All right. I think that's it. I'm going to go ahead and make sure. Shout outs to Echo Gear again for giving us that mount, the giveaway for the stream. Hopefully you guys check them out, use that link, and just kind of see if you guys are looking for it to go ahead and see if it's something that you guys might want to get. And also, thank you everybody that came to watch the stream today. Thank you everybody watching this on YouTube. Thank you very much to all the mods that are out there kind of helping in chat, especially through that weird situation where we're trying to make the giveaways work. And also, thank you to Andre Kane for the music that I use in the intro and the closing, and Blizzana for the artwork that I use, or the layout I use for the show. I don't know when the next MogTalk's going to be. I have a lot of stuff coming up over the next month. So I might be MIA for a little bit. For sure, I'll probably be doing some other stuff with PvP. For those who are interested, you can check out PvP Piazza.com, which I do a lot of stuff that they're working on. Guys, please have a very wonderful rest of your day, weekend. Enjoy this tier, and then we'll see you next time. I'll announce on Twitter when we have the next show coming up. You guys, all say bye.
See you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.